Hey everyone, happy Halloween season and welcome back to another DIY costume video. In today's video, I will be making a gender-bent Agatha Harkness costume from her appearance in the season finale of WandaVision. I also made a gender-bent Scarlet Witch costume which I posted a couple months back. That video, unsurprisingly, is the highest video viewed on my channel this far, so thank you to everyone who took the time to watch that video from beginning to end. I'll link that video down in the description for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. I did want to state that the format of this video is going to be very different from any of my previous DIY videos I've made so far. I'm trying out something new with my videos so that they aren't too time consuming to both edit and finish, so I hope you guys like the new video style I'm going for. I should mention that I made this costume last Halloween season and I didn't have enough time to properly film every step since Halloween was only a couple weeks away. I filmed as much as I could, but it came to a point where I stopped filming and focused all of my attention on finishing up the costume on time. It also didn't help that I was working on two other costumes that I was also contemplating on wearing for Halloween, so I apologize to anyone who wants a more in-depth tutorial. I originally planned on posting this video after the Halloween season last year, but I got lazy and started doing some random things on my YouTube channel, so I figured I'd actually get off my ass this time and finish the video and upload it this Halloween season instead. Like usual, the fabrics I used for this costume were all purchased from Joann's. The main base and construction of the costume is made from black cotton fabric. I was originally going to use normal purple sheer fabric for the costume, but I found this really cool two-toned iridescent fabric which is part of their Halloween collection, and it ended up working great with this costume. I've seen a lot of people on social media use this exact same fabric for their Agatha Harkness costumes too. The pattern I used for my costume was one that I previously drafted to make the front and back of my shirt. For my sleeves, I just used one of the costumes I was working on at the time to get its measurements and created a triangular point at the end of the sleeve instead of cutting it straight. The iridescent fabric was really hard to work with, and I found it complicated replicating the shriveled fabric look Agatha had in the show without actually using fabric that was pre-shriveled. I did find a nearly exact fabric online, but I decided just to work with what I got. I tried a lot of different ways to style the fabric, but in the end, I ended up just folding the fabric and creating pleats to try and replicate the look she had in the show. The only downside to doing this was that I ended up using all the fabric I had on hand, and my local Joann's didn't have any more in stock, so I had to buy more online, which ended up taking a little while to get delivered. For the blue collar of the shirt, I used some leftover blue shimmery fabric I used for my DIY sled costume, which I actually posted nearly 2 years ago now, and layered a mesh material on top of it in a similar color. It looks a little different from how it originally looked in the show, but it never hurts to take some creative liberties when making costumes from scratch. By the time it came to the sleeves, I was running out of the iridescent fabric again, and I knew if I ordered more online, it wouldn't arrive on time. So I decided not to add too much detail to the sleeves and simply just layer the fabric on top of each other. I also added some elastic bands to the end of each sleeve to help them stay in place when I'm wearing the costume, but this is completely optional. Using the remainder of the fabric I had left, I was just barely able to make the sleeves that draped down her outfit. Then I sewed the sleeves onto the costume and also made the collar, leaving a bit of space for white fabric to be able to be sewn in between. I also attached invisible zippers on both the back of the costume and the sleeves to make putting on the costume a bit easier since it is intended to fit snug around my body. The cape is just a long piece of plum-colored sheer fabric that was about 3 to 4 yards long that I basically wore like how you would a bedsheet when you pretend like it's an actual cape or something. I definitely could have done something more detail-oriented when it came to the cape, but I really didn't find it necessary for my purposes. I wore the cape like a shawl half the time it was on me anyways, since it was tracking too much dirt wearing it outside. Lastly, one of the iconic elements of Agatha's costume is the brooch with the 3 witches on it. I ended up finding an exact replica on Etsy for a really good price, and I was really happy that it came in before Halloween, so I was able to wear it with my costume. I don't think the specific pin that I purchased is still available, but I'm sure you can find one that's similar to it. I'll check Etsy if it's still available, and if it is, I'll link it down in the description below for you guys to check it out. And finally, my costume is finished. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope you guys don't mind this shorter type of content compared to my previous uploads. But it really does help me a lot, especially when it comes to editing. I've always felt like the longer videos, although very informative, were less engaging due to the longevity of the videos, and due to the circumstances, obviously, I was able to make something different. But I'm open to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in my next video.